for us, the scene was a little bit different. Because it was in the 90s, but it wasn't out here on the West Coast. So when you say, like, it made me laugh. You said small parties at warehouses. I was like, this is still a huge space. It wasn't really until I went to, like, parties in Maryland. Like, I went to some parties in Baltimore and in that area. And it's funny to me to just think what the fashion differences must have been like, because JNCOs, man, JNCOs up and down, right? Like
Yeah.
in the 2000s, were you guys still rocking those, or were those dead by then?
I think JNCOs were dead by then, but candy culture was really big.
Okay, so
Like,
like, what does that mean for
like
the label?
like the beats and everything. I mean, there was still. I think I got caught in at the last life cycle of JNCOs and kind of like that, like '90s stereotype of like ravers.
Uh huh.
But it was kind of going more into like more less and less like kind of like flashy clothing. Um,
Yeah, it's funny because I'm just thinking about how much material my pants had.
yeah, I,
And not just Jinkos, like Mom and Me's and all these different Liquid Sky, like all these different UFO pants. Did you ever see those? You know what I'm
no,
talking about? Oh, I
I
threw those
think
out
so.
a while ago. But they were these big fucking pants that were baggy, and they were like kind of cargo pants, but they were like parachutey, and they had these straps, and so you would put them on, but you would also like tie the hem. You would like it had a little tie off, so you could tie it up on your calf, so it would look like you were wearing shorts. And there were these like huge baggy puffy.
I mean,
It was like the logical conclusion before you guys stopped wearing Jinkos.
and that's something like that. Like when I was like raving and I was like thinking of like the '90s, like I was like I always felt like I missed the '90s because like that era of like raving because I liked the fashion that was happening at that time. By the
Yeah.
time that I got it, it was completely different.
But
Um,
like, what do people? So you say you said are when you said less flashy. In what sense? Like the
um,
pants are less baggy, obviously, but there's no like people aren't like. Has it lost that like? Because some of the fun was all the flash, right?
yeah, I mean it was like a weird kind of like um, from what I remember, a lot of the girls were wearing like the tulle, like ballerina kind of things with the fishnets, and like it was always like a bra. Like that
Mm.
was like kind of like the style that a lot of the girls, like the guys were just wearing regular kind of like clothes. It was just like comfortable and just sometimes like regular shirts. But there were like the candy kids who were like at the last thing where it's like that were still showing flash through like having like those beaded bracelets and like wearing flashy colors. They were still kind of wearing like the JNCO pants and whatever, but it wasn't as much as it was like in the '90s. Like it was like kind of
I'm
like
just like I'm imagining it, I'm remembering it, and it's just glorious. It's like all these people you can't see their legs; they're just like moving. It's almost like they're hovering, right, while while everything is flapping around. It's making me super nostalgic.